Hi everybody, and a special hello to all our friends in Germany. And I know some of you have received boxes similar to this one sent to you through the GLX program. Now I'm especially excited because I was in the program about a year ago and I can't wait to see which amazing companies have put their goodies in this basket. And what I'm going to attempt to do is to make 6 traditional Sri Lankan dishes so you can try and replicate it back at home. Now this is going to be a true collaboration, so let's see what's in this. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of stuff. Tell you what, we'll be back in a minute once we unload everything that's in this box. As you can see, some of these products are not all food. So these trivets, which you can keep your hot pans on your countertops, is made from palmyra leaf. And even the scarf that you saw draped on the box earlier, they're all from upcycled products, again, all from Sri Lanka. And the food products are all organic and fair trade. And again, best of all, they're from Sri Lanka. So clearly, I can't use all these ingredients today in my recipe, so I've handpicked a few. I'm really excited about using the virgin coconut oil, the coconut sugar, and then there's jaggery, which I'll explain what that is in just a little bit, and all the different spices. And of course, Sri Lanka is world famous for cinnamon, so had to have the cinnamon. Well, why wait any longer? Let's just dive right into it and get started. So guys, for our first recipe, we are going to do a true Sri Lankan favorite, and that is a chicken curry. Now for this, I picked 3 ingredients from our basket, mainly an extra virgin coconut oil from Ceylon Exports and Trading Company, and we have coconut cream or coconut milk from Serendipol, and from Target, we have true Ceylon cinnamon. And trust me, you want to use the real stuff from Sri Lanka because true cinnamon only comes from Sri Lanka. And what's amazing about this is they've cut it to 1.5-inch size pieces, which is about how much you would need for each dish. So perfect. Now, like I said, super easy. Well, as with most Sri Lankan curries, it is going to be a bit of marination going on. We leave it for about half an hour and then quickly fry up some stuff. It's very rustic. And then just add our liquid and let it simmer. It's super easy. So here we go. So I have enough chicken for about 4 people here. We have 4 drumsticks and 4 thighs. I highly recommend dog meat with the skin on. If you are really averse to skins, you could omit that. That's not a big problem. So what we're gonna do here is our marinade. And for that, we just need salt, about good 2 teaspoons, about a teaspoon of turmeric. Again, a ton of health benefits. A lot of the ingredients that you use in Sri Lankan cooking have medicinal properties. But the thing is, it doesn't taste medicinal. It all tastes extremely amazing. That's what's great about this. So as with everything Sri Lankan, this needs to be super spicy, but if it's too hot for you, you could go easy on the chili powder. So I'm doing about 3 teaspoons here. And roasted Sri Lankan curry powder. It's about 2 teaspoons right there as well. And now we're gonna use some garlic in this. I'm gonna use my trusty mincer. About 2 cloves should do it, because we're gonna add more garlic as we cook it as well. And just give it a good mix. I did forget one little ingredient, and that's a splash of lime, because you need a little bit of acid to kind of bring it all together. If limes are difficult to find, lemons are fine too. And if that's difficult too, you could do a little splash of vinegar. And once it's evenly coated, we're just gonna let it sit for about half an hour and let it do its thing. Right, so now our chicken's being done marinating. All we have left to do is light up our stove, get our pan warmed up, and we're gonna get some ingredients quickly chopped and minced up. So we need, for example, a little bit of ginger that's good to go into this. You could mince it if you want, but honestly, Sri Lankan cooking, like I said, is very rustic, so you could just put whole slices in if you can't be bothered. And maybe that's what I'll do today. And we need some tomatoes. Again, very roughly chopped. And we're gonna get some coconut oil going. let's get these tomatoes chopped up and on the stove. So I'm gonna put these aside. And just very roughly slice it. Maybe give it a chop through the middle. Ta-da! And that's basically all the prep that we have. So go, stove back on, and we are going to start off with some garlic. I'll say about 4 cloves should do it. And again, if you don't have a mincer and you can't be bothered mincing it, just whole cloves or just cloves halved would just be as fine. You're very easy. Okay, great. And our onions can go in at the same time. And we're just gonna sweat it a little bit. And even if you let it brown a bit, that's fine. Again, not very many rules. And I'm also gonna throw in a cinnamon stick. But I'm gonna break it in half so to impart more of the flavor. And we're also gonna add a nice sprig of curry leaves. Now, if these are difficult to find, don't stress. You could use a bay leaf. It's not really the same thing. Or you just omit it altogether. It does add a certain oomph to the dish, but it's not, worth stressing over. Oh, I wish you could smell this. It's amazing. This smells like every Sri Lankan kitchen that you would walk into. And we're gonna start adding the same spices in little quantities that we did to the marinade before. So a little bit of turmeric, chili powder, curry powder. Oh, and I did forget. So scatterbrained today. Forgot my ginger, but it can go in now. No problem. And start cooking it till everything is nicely softened and infused together. And all that's left to do is add our tomatoes, our chicken, add a splash of water, let it cook down, and we're going to finish it off with some coconut milk. That is smelling done. So, like I said, tomatoes. And let it cook down just a little bit. And we add our chicken. Now, if you allow the chicken to brown just a little bit, it's going to add more flavor to your curry later on. But if you want to, you could add your water at this time as well. As you can see, sequence is not too critical when it comes to Sri Lankan food. You can just, and if you wanted to add something at this point, just go right ahead. Which I'm actually going to do. I'm going to add some lime, I think, here in just a second. I mean, a little bit more lime. And I think it's time for our water. Just enough to come up the size of the chicken. And now it's on a medium flame. That's where about you want to keep it. And we're just going to cover it up and let it simmer for about at least good 5 to 10 minutes without disturbing. This is looking good. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Smell heavenly. And all we need to do now is top it off with a little bit of coconut milk. Give it a good shake. Yeah, we're not going to use all of it, just a little splash. And I'm gonna give it a little spritz of lime again. Right. And the reason I keep putting lime is because with all the intense spices that goes on in here, the citrus just makes it lighter and cleaner tasting. And that's why acid is so important in this. And immediately the gravy becomes creamier, and we're gonna just let it thicken up just a little bit before we serve up. And that's basically it. I'm gonna taste it for salt though. Oh, it's perfect. And when it's done, that's what your chicken curry should look like. I'm gonna get a bowl, serve it out. And if you serve out the pieces first before you tip in the gravy, you stop it from splattering everywhere. So you might want to do that. Beautiful. And I'm just going to dump all that delicious gravy. But I'm going to do something a little extra special here. And if you can get your hands on some coriander leaves, this just really elevates this dish. And again, just good sprinkle. And there you have it, your Sri Lankan chicken curry. And this pairs with anything, whether it's rice, whether it's bread. So you have a Sri Lankan dish up your sleeve that you can whip up at any time. So let's get on to our next dish, which is an amazing pineapple curry.